Hello and good afternoon, good evening to everyone out there. I am, of course, your host, RJ, and welcome to the very first episode of a new live stream series I'm calling RJ Live. This is a live stream series. We'll be talking about pretty much anything outside of Marvel. It could be video games, it could be other franchises like DC and Star Wars, news in the industry, drama related content on the occasion. Just very chill, casual hangout streams. And yeah, it's a new era for me and the channel, which we'll get into in just a moment. But first, I want to introduce one of my guests this evening. Joining me for the very first episode of the new RJ Live is Mr. Eddie Oh My Diaz. What's up, Eddie?
Hey, what's up, RJ? Glad to be here.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, lot of interesting things are going on with the channel, so I figured I would take some time just to kind of explain what's going on and why this is happening. So if you've noticed, I've completely rebranded the channel. It's still the same channel, so if you were subscribed to the old Resident Justice channel, you're still subscribed to this new one. Unless you don't want to be anymore, you hit the sub button. I don't mind. I mean, but all seriousness though, what's going on basically is I have decided to kind of focus and lean in on one specific niche. I'm trying to find like a specific thing that I can kind of hone my identity on YouTube with, and I feel like Marvel is something I can really lean in on. It's something I know really well. It's something I'm very passionate about, and I feel like I could do a lot of cool things with this. We'll be doing Marvel Mania tomorrow, so look out for that. The very first episode of Marvel Mania, which is the flagship show of the channel. Should be a lot of fun. And there might be some theory videos. There might be some watch parties for MCU shows going forward. We might try and do some, at least the Moon Knight finale, maybe in episode 5. We're going to try and do maybe some theory videos and some other fun stuff. But yeah, we'll be doing a lot of interesting things with this. And thank you to everyone who stuck around with me. I hope you enjoyed the new content. Again, it's not to say we'll never talk about other stuff. This is what RJ is live, or RJ Live is for. Excuse me. This is what this series of live streams is for. Talk about pretty much everything else. So like I said, very fun, casual stream that we'll be doing. And yeah. So, real quick, we'll say hello to the chat. Don and Martin's here. We will be talking about the Ezra update. Absolutely. John is here. This is not a new channel. Still the same channel. Don't worry. Just rebranded. Geek Studios is here. Hello, Geeks. William's here. Okay, Eddie is the first guest. Already off to a bad start. Well, William, if you want to come on, you can come on too. I'll send William a link. We'll get William in here. Donovan's here. Hello. Roddy Pete. Why not DC Mania? Because is there really anything to go Mania? Do you have Mania over when it comes to DC right now? I don't know. I mean, I like DC. I'm just saying, yeah. I stick to where I'm comfortable at, But real quick, William here says, I want Eddie's show to have its own channel. What do you think, Eddie? What do you think about that? Yeah, there you go. Bro of the Skies coming home is here saying, oh no, it's RJ. Thought I said it was some stupid Marvel child. Well, I'm glad you're here anyway, Broden. Thank you for stopping by.
I did too. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, who the hell is this?
Yeah, I mean, I had someone message me. He's like, oh, I almost unsubscribed. I was like, oh, okay. It's okay though. It's okay. So yeah. So what do you want to dive into first, Eddie? Do you want to talk about the Lightyear trailer, Netflix in trouble, or well, you know what? Let's start off with this actually. Actually, I'm glad you're here because if you remember way back, Eddie, way back, like early 2021 when I was first starting my YouTube channel, you and me watched a Sonic Central event. You remember that?
I do.
Yeah. One of the games they actually announced was Sonic Origins, which they announced it was going to be a collection of all the original Sonic games. And we were waiting to hear more about it. And they dropped a trailer the other day. So I figured, let's take a look at that. Because me and you were there, Eddie, when they announced this game. Now it's finally coming out this year. So let's take a look at that trailer real quick.
Let's get to it.
So what do you think, Eddie? June 23rd, 2022.
Well, what I said before when we first talked about the announcement, I was never really into games like this. I was always just a casual watcher of other people playing, but it was well structured in my opinion. I think it looks fun for the people who care. Obviously, your demographic is the one that is going to be hyped about this the most.
What are you trying to say, Eddie? My
Look,
demographic,
man.
like, what are you trying to say? Like, you people? Like, what is this?
Look, man, I'm not trying to sound racist or anything, but I'm just kidding. That has nothing to do with Sonic. But no, I mean the people who like this stuff, who play these games, it's nothing bad with it. Obviously, it's just like I said.
Here's one person who I know absolutely loves video games and loves retro stuff. William.
Okay, I'm seeing all kinds of problems here.
What's the problem?
Eddie's here. That's your top one. Sonic, what's going on here, man? Just listen. I want you to do like a cooking channel or something if we're going. I mean, what's the new direction, man? I like the old troublemaker RJ.
No. Like I listen. I'm really excited for this. I mean, you never played like any. You ever got a Sega Genesis or played these classic?
Oh, I played Sega, and I believe when I got this thing, Sonic came with it, and I immediately threw it away and went out and got.
You threw it away?
Yeah, man.
Why would you throw it away?
I've never regarded Sonic the Hedgehog as anything but kid stuff. Even though when I was a kid when I bought it, Sega had some really kick-ass games at the time. I mean, they had some really kick-ass games, and that was when you could go to the video store and get the games and rent them instead of paying all that money. So I never played the Sonic. I think that came with it. I think it was in the little box part and went right in the trash with the directions and stuff because I knew how to hook up a Sega Genesis. So I have no use for Sonic. Sorry. I know other people do, but it's like my video games back then, we got to remember what was coming out. Mortal Kombat, all kinds of stuff. There was blood involved. There's no blood in Sonic. It's cute and cuddly stuff. I don't know.
Sonic is a little more edgier than Mario. I mean, Sonic had attitude.
But I had Sub-Zero freezing people to death and Reptile ripping your head off with the spine dangling. Where was?
Well, that's true, but there's room for everything. I mean, this game comes out in 2 months. I'll probably be picking it up against the four Sega Genesis and Sega CD, Sonic CD remastered. So looks fun, looks cool.
It'd be cool if they
do you have a response to this, by the way, William? Good thing William's here. He's retro himself.
Oh, there you go. Excuse me, you're wearing Dr. J's 1981 Fro, so I don't know who's retro.
I mean, you were there to experience it, though.
Hey, Google Michael Jackson circa 1978 or Prince circa 1980. There's Eddie right there.
You can make fun of me all you want, but you were actually around. You were actually around during that period. So I don't know.
But you wanted to be. You wanted to be. Look at you. You want to be what we were then, but that's okay. You can try, but you ain't an OG like this. So, but
yeah.
But what else? So Sonic, what else you got, RJ? What's up, man?
Well, you know what? There's something actually maybe you could speak to. I'm glad you're here, the business-minded individual. Have you heard what's going on with Netflix, actually?
Yeah, when we were talking about it last night, the 35% drop. Everybody's going to go through it. Every streaming service is going to go through it. It's going to hit Netflix harder than most because of the fact that it's their primary source of income, whereas Paramount Plus, HBO Max, Amazon, those are branches of what they do, and they're important branches, but they have other things, other income to back it up. Netflix, it is what they do. So they're going to have to make different adjustments that HBO Max and all these other ones are going to have to make. A lot of it has to do with the way they release their content, the short form content where everything comes out all at once. Once I'm done burning through those, I'm done with Netflix as far as them being in the discussion. And that the growth is what Wall Street looks at. That's the only way that they look at it now. They're going to have to make an adjustment too, because growth is great. Retention is everything. How you grow as a streaming service is going to be secondary to who you retain, because we're eventually going to top out. There's only so many people in the world, only so many people in the country. I mean, and as your rate of population grows, it's not going to outpace, what people are looking for these streaming services to grow. So you're going to cap out. So it's going to be who you retain is going to be how the success is. Now they lost subscribers. A lot of that, like I said last night, has to do with people are going back to work. We've been trapped in the house for 2 years. Their kids are going back to school, and we also have inflation. We also have other things that are priority. $20 on Netflix or $20, to get a quarter of a tank of gas in some situations. So, I think once that situation improves, they'll be okay. But yeah, they're gonna want to
Blockbuster out of this chance.
Hey,
yeah,
there's one blockbuster left, but
yeah, there is. Well, one of the casualties of all this is kind of been a big story is that Netflix animation has pretty much been erased. It's done. Like it's
that might have happened no matter what. That might have happened no matter what. Animation doesn't make money. That's what people don't understand.
Well, it's content though. It's popular content. I mean,
it's content, but it doesn't get you the views on return. So I was like, okay, so for instance, HBO Max has DC Animation, right? DC Animation never made any money, but it's content alongside of stuff it already has for its brand. Like for a guy like me I have no use for DC Animation growing up, but once I burn through everything that's on my DC slate that they give me, they recommend it to me and I watch it. But that's an entire brand that's being supported with DC Comics. Just random animation on things like this doesn't really give you any return on your investment. I get return on my investment if I'm DC by keeping a DC brand going beyond just me tuning in for Peacemaker and everything like that. With this stuff right here, it generally doesn't. If you notice the content that you get on these streaming services, it's less restricted. Like with DC, you could do more stuff on DC Animated. You can do things on DC Animated that they would never let you do on the big screen because they don't regard it as anything that they need to really pay attention to. I mean, you can see all kinds
I wouldn't say that's necessarily what's going to happen, Donovan, saying Arcane 2 and Zack Snyder's God Show aren't happening. Well, this Arcane is, okay, to clarify, what they mean by Netflix animation is that it's the in-house animation studio that they've been building up. Arcane is animated by a different company. Like they license, it's contract work, I believe. Like they're making a show to be distributed on Netflix, not Netflix themselves animating and making the show. I don't know what's going to happen to Zack Snyder's 2 animated shows he's working on, Las Vegas and Twilight of the Gods.
But see, those are financed outside. I mean, he can get financing outside of Netflix, though. Netflix just might not fit the bill, just like you said. He has Stone Quarry. He has investors that can pony up for that. And it doesn't mean that they'll cut out everything. They're just going to cut out things. See, once again, Zack Snyder stuff is connected to something else that they're doing. You see what I mean? There's a live action anchor there for that animation. These other things, there's not really a live action anchor. So you can't, if I'm going to spend the money, I'm going to justify it on something I'm going to get more, out of my dollar than something else. Yeah. So that's it's just, and like I said, you can have other production companies that produce these things and then they buy it. It'd be cheaper for them to purchase it than to produce it.
Well, he's working on a movie, Rebel Moon, right now. It's filming, but he's also, there's a couple animated shows that he's kind of working on. I don't think he's like the main person involved in that. I mean, it's other people he's kind of employed to take care of that stuff, but he is developing that stuff too.
Who knows? Rebel Moon might get something. And if Rebel Moon, if he were to say I want something with Rebel Moon, they'll probably give it to him because it's connected to a franchise, and everybody who comes to watch Rebel Moon will now have another reason to basically hang out and stay. So
yeah,
it's an investment.
Well, this article here, reading it real quick, says Netflix animation erased, executives fired, shows canceled, and accusations of staged data exclusive. Creators migrate to the stream because of unprecedented creative freedom. Now they're facing a very different reality. Phil Reinda, whose official title is Netflix's Director of Creative Leadership and Development for Original Animation, was let go this week, along with several of his staff, the Wrap can exclusively report, and Netflix has confirmed. According to several creators who spoke to the Wrap, the kids and families based on Netflix animation has changed. Series that benefited from great word of mouth and critical praise aren't being renewed, and several high-profile projects have been unceremoniously canceled, including the long-delayed adaptation of Jeff Smith's beloved comic book series Bone, first announced back in 2019. And then we'll talk about the stock drop in a little bit as well. I'll put up that article in a second. The Bone thing really upset me. William, I don't know if you ever read Jeff Smith's Bone. Such an amazing comic book, and they've been trying so hard to get something off the ground, some kind of adaptation, repeatedly. Warner Brothers, Nickelodeon, Netflix.
I never
now.
thought it would get this far. To be honest with you, I never thought it would get as far as we are. Even though it being cut, I never thought it would even be considered because it was such an avant-garde thing. See, and one of these things that are cool. There's a lot of cool stuff that came from that era. That unfortunately is kick-ass, but it just doesn't justify its production under certain circumstances. I mean, there's a lot of Vertigo stuff I wish happened with Sandman and all these other things that are out there in the mid-90s that would make great stories like that. And look how long it took for Sandman just to even get where it is now with Neil Gaiman stuff with Netflix. I loved it, but it just didn't have the justification for it. And Bone...
I mean, Bone could be really popular as an animated series. It's like, it's great content that just...
It is, I agree, but you got to sell that to somebody who's putting the money for it.
I mean, do you feel like Bone could get picked up somewhere else, maybe?
No. Like I said, you're having a content is cool conversation, but there's also I need you to lay down some cash for this to do this conversation with a bunch of other people you're going to have to justify its marketability. And, I don't, it's hit or miss. I don't think so. But
but don't you think that Bone could be worth producing though, in terms of it being such a high-profile project that could bring eyes to a streaming service?
In contrast to other high-profile projects, Bone's not even in the realm. And I'm not denigrating Bone, but if I have a bunch of projects and a limited amount of budget to greenlight projects, I don't know if Bone is even in the waiting room. Unfortunately.
Yeah. And obviously, this article from Tech Radar kind of goes into more details that Netflix announced they lost 200,000 subscribers since the start of 2022, and they're expecting to lose about 2 million more by the end of next quarter. Also, too, this is on the heels of them announcing, by the way, that they're spending $30 million an episode for the new Stranger Things season 4. Which how do you spend $30 million on one episode for Stranger Things?
Oh, easily. VFX, dude. Game of Thrones, House of Dragons, they're going to break the bank. So it's funny when I hear these guys say, we're going to cut spending, we're going to cut this, only on the shit that doesn't mean anything to them. On the projects that mean something to them, and as far as retention goes, and they're going to spend that money. But here's another thing about the way they do Stranger Things. Why not release it? If you release it, I believe they're releasing it on a block, but if you release it in 8 separate episodes, that's 2 weeks worth of retention. And then you have something else overlapping it. That's what this is about, is retention. And it's provable with Stranger Things. That's a proven winner. Yeah. So they're going to spend the money on things like that because they know that they're going to get their dollar back.
Yeah, and it says as it reckons with its first loss, because Netflix. This is the first time Netflix has lost subscribers in over a decade. They've been on upward trajectory constantly, and we'll get into that in a little bit because I have something to say about potentially the streaming bubble. Perhaps maybe that's kind of bursting a little bit.
Well, and they all know it's coming though. The only people that are surprised by this, it seems like it's Wall Street. Everybody who owns
Wall Street was shocked by this. Yeah, they were panicking.
When you get to that point, I'll tell you why, because their dinosaur way of judging these stocks now does not apply to the streaming services anymore. But they all know that bubble's coming. Warner Brothers knows that the bubble's coming. Paramount knows that the bubble's coming, and they're building all this in. These price hikes and all that, they know it's coming, not just because of the pandemic being over, because like I said before, population in the United States is 350 million. There's only so many people, period, that are going to get these streaming services, even globally. Unless we start cloning people and doubling and tripling your population, your rate of growth is going to cap out at the rate of growth of population and people getting into that spending medium. And there's nothing a streaming company can do about that, like I said, other than cloning people at a quicker rate and then telling them, hey, subscribe here. There's nothing they can do about that.
Yeah. So it kind of mentions a little bit about so Roald Dahl's adaptation of The Twits has been canceled. Jeff Smith's Bone adaptation has been canceled. Lauren Faust's Toil and Trouble. But it isn't just keenly awaited Netflix series that have been dispensed with. Netflix movies, including Bright 2, a sequel to the Will Smith starring fantasy flick, have also been dropped by the streaming company. Yeah, did you hear about that, by the way? That
I saw that somewhere. That's probably for several reasons, though, not just.
Do you feel? Well, Netflix is saying it's not because of the Will Smith thing. Do you believe them?
No. Once again, it's both, because if he's not marketable right now, you're spending money on somebody that people might be turned off right now. You're not going to get a return on your investment as far as viewers goes. So I right now, anything with Will Smith right now, it's going to take a couple of months for people to like feel comfortable, get back into the waters with that again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I mean, Bright was a big success for them, so it is kind of surprising they wouldn't move forward with some kind of sequel, even if it wasn't with Will Smith. But
yeah, that's tough though. That's like Independence Day without Will Smith. Boy, I'd rather get kicked in the balls by a donkey than watch that again.
Yeah. Well, this article just mentioned that it's unclear how many Netflix TV series and films generally set for the chopping block. However, it seems that some of the streamers' biggest hits, Stranger Things, The Witcher, Arcane, which I loved Arcane. Watch that if you haven't. And Squid Game, to name just 4, are all safe. It appears that new in-development movies and shows are at risk of falling by the wayside, but as we've previously seen from Netflix, the streaming giant isn't adverse to pulling the plug on fan-favorite productions if deemed necessary. We're looking at you, Arcade 81, and the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. So then it kind of gets into like some analysis stuff. We're talking about the rocky roads away. Just mentioned there's increased competition from Disney Plus, Prime, HBO Max, Apple TV. The spiraling cost of living in some countries, inflation,
war.
War. And it is mentioning also too that the password sharing thing and the addition of ads could be very unpopular decisions that are turning people away. So just a couple of the things there. I mean, and again, I want to talk about the streaming bubble for a moment, because if it's bursting, right? If the streaming bubble is bursting and all these studios just got into the streaming bubble thinking Netflix was like the model of success, now Netflix is having trouble. Could the other studios start struggling as well?
No, because I think bursting isn't the proper terminology. Leveling out is what it is. These guys knew that they were going to hit this. You know, Netflix, like I said, is going to have a harder road, because if HBO Max has issues, they're backed up by a conglomerate. They're backed up by Discovery. They're backed up by other things. Amazon could literally buy a solar system. So Amazon Prime Video is not going to have a problem. Paramount Plus is Viacom. I mean, you have they can cut things elsewhere. If they decide, like HBO decides they're going to lose money, or they're gonna make investments overspending as far as HBO Max can, they can justify it as an investment, but they're also backed up by a corporation. Netflix is all in one. They're literally their own studio. So you're not going to see, even bubble or not, or leveling out or not, you're not going to see them go cheap on Game of Thrones. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to see them go cheap on putting movies out there on the big screen that they can then turn into their streaming service. What you might see is the window close even further down from 45 to 30, simple because that brings value to the streaming services, and that's where they get 100% of the profit. And that's retention. Like right now, the Batman is on streaming. That Batman on streaming is worth more to Warner Brothers than the Batman in theaters, because at 640 to 700 million a month in subscription revenue, middle end, that's going up, even headed towards this. That movie is worth more to them retaining than it is in the box office, where they get 33% and have to give out money. So no, I don't see it bursting. I don't see any of the ones having problems.
Can you see any of the streaming services shuttering?
No,
none of them.
Only the ones that were bad ideas, like CNN Plus was a bad idea from a regime that was outgoing.
Do you think that Peacock and Paramount Plus could potentially shutter or merge with another one, or license their content out to another streamer?
No. Well, it could happen, but Peacock is backed by Universal, and it's backed by Comcast. It has the investment in the Peacock can be justified by the fact that they had so many platforms to distribute, like WrestleMania. WrestleMania was on Peacock. WWE's network has been enveloped and absorbed by Peacock. So you have a lot of things on there that are good, and you have a lot of stuff on there that is exclusive, and but they're also backed by, even if they were to lose money for a little bit, they have so many revenue streams. Networks have advertisers and investors. Netflix has to adjust to that. So I don't see any of the ones that are currently out shuttering, unless they were bad ideas to begin with, like CNN Plus was a bad idea.
Yeah. Well, Eddie, what do you think about all this? Do you feel like Netflix is in trouble, or how are you feeling about the cancellation of some of these shows?
I mean, you always see it from time to time, them canceling shows after one season, either because of viewership or just wanting to not spend that much money on them. We see it all the time. I don't know. I get it. It's a big ordeal now of losing subscribers and all that stuff, and there's profit. But like I said, I'm not really a metrics guy when it comes to that. I guess it is a concern, but like I said, I'm not really educated enough on this, to be honest.
Well, look at part of that article, RJ, where it says they plan to lose how many more?
About 2 million by quarter two, end of quarter two.
This was built into their metrics. They knew this. Now, the problem with Wall Street, for 100 whatever years Wall Street's been around, Wall Street's metrics are based on growth. And that's the retail mentality, like with Home Depot, comp sales, comparison where we were last year. So if you ever worked in retail and they have like a store meeting, they'll tell you where we were at in sales today versus this time last year, and then they'll let you know what was the factors, holidays, and all that. So it's comparison sales, and that's how Wall Street bases retail numbers: growth in sales, because the growth percentage in sales, when it comes to like consumables and things like that, cars, stuff like that, that doesn't necessarily change, because those are recyclable things that you're always going to have to eat, no matter how many people are in the world. So you're not just maintaining a number, you're growing a number in that respect. When it comes to streaming, Wall Street's looking at, okay, if you're losing subscribers and that's a problem, but it's growth. It's not the loss of subscribers that really hurt Netflix as far as it's the rate of growth. They're not growing. But HBO Max is going to reach the same thing. We only have so many people that are going to get it. And unlike food, one household can take care of 4 or 5 people when it comes to one HBO Max subscription. So their rate of growth is eventually going to stop. And it's just the matter of what it is. Like I said, unless we double and triple the population, but Wall Street looks at growth. Did you grow? If you only had 4% growth, then they panic. If we're supposed to have 7% growth and you come in at 4%, Wall Street panics because you missed your mark. And that's why whenever you see the employment numbers, if we were supposed to have employment numbers above 4% and they're at 3%, Wall Street panics. Wall Street panics when the number goes backwards and not forwards. But if it stays the same, if you got a rate of growth of 1%, Wall Street's still going to panic because you're not growing. But to the streaming service, it's about retention, because without retention, your growth is done anyway. If you can retain everybody you have and grow at 1%, that's fine, because then you can set your baseline and say, okay, well, if we're making 800 million, 900 million a month, now I can go ahead and structure my projects and justify this, and that. So with an internal numbers, these guys all know this is coming. It's just Wall Street's like, oh my goodness, what is this? Our caveman logic is not doing it.
Yeah. What's up, memes? Anthony Beltray. What's up, guys? CinemaCon is next week. That should be interesting to see what happens with that. I'm not sure if we're going to get any trailers. That's all about appealing to the theater. Right?
That's here. Wow.
Are you going to go to CinemaCon?
I don't have any plans to, but some of the people that we work with and do distribution stuff with, and our tickets and our screenings and stuff with, they'll be here.
Hey, I should say go. They're doing a screening of Top Gun Maverick at Paramount.
Yeah, they did last year. They did the first 15 minutes of it, and it was good.
Man,
I don't know if I'm
like Campia.
I don't think he's down here already. I don't know if my connections are that strong. I still think I'm low enough on the total poll.
Yeah,
I might get a T-shirt.
Yeah, what's the worst you could ask? Ask one of your theater partners to be like, "Hey, can I come tag along?"
Yeah, can I hide in your bag?
Yeah, you're gonna be able to see stuff. Do you have any predictions? Think they're gonna make announcements or show trailers off or anything?
No, because a lot of the stuff has been pushed and delayed. I don't know if they're gonna. A lot of these guys that are gonna make their announcements
focus on this year's content, maybe. I think Disney might release the first trailer for Avatar 2 during the week of CinemaCon.
Why not do that?
They're gonna show it. They're gonna show it to the people in attendance. It's a matter of, do they release to the public?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like you got your D20, you got all these platforms have their own big things to do these on. Why give it away at CinemaCon? But yeah, they might. But if I get in, I'll let you know. I'll do a stream from it. But,
yeah. Well, William, you might want to dip out for this one because we need to talk about Ezra. Because
what happened now? I heard there was some kind of update. What's going on?
Yeah, so there is an update. This video on TikTok is blowing up like crazy. So this is the video from someone named Mia Solange. This was 11 hours ago. I think it's at 2 million views already. Again, someone named Mia Solange. 2 million views, over like 500,000 likes. This thing, I don't know what to make of this, but I'm gonna watch it and let you guys come to your own conclusions. The tagline is, "You took everything from me. Ezra Miller is not a good human, and I can finally say so without being terrified. #abuser." And this is the video.
Oh, Caroline. Caroline, Caroline, Caroline. You are in terrible danger. Okay.
Okay, like I said, it's really weird. I have no
looks
clue
like
what
somebody's gonna get sued.
Well, she's claiming that they, I believe Mia goes by they them pronouns as well. They're claiming that Ezra abused them in some form. Now, this video really doesn't show a lot. I mean, it does prove that they were in a relationship with them.
Okay.
But then you have this where like there's like some drawings on the wall, and then you have something going on in the car, and that's
without
it.
taking anybody's side here, Ezra or this person's. This is the kind of stuff that gets people sued. If you got something, you got to bring it. You bring it, and you bring it to, it's called discovery, things like that. This is, I mean, you got to have a basis to because it's defamation.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I think there was another update too. I'll bring that up in a second. But Eddie, what do you make of this video? Like, I don't think there's anything in here right now that any of us can like say, "Oh shoot, something's going on." It's just like it's something I feel like. Yeah, there's really like, I mean, drawing the satanic imagery on the wall. I don't know what that's about. But I'm just saying, the situation just gets weirder and weirder. That's the thing.
And it's out of context. Like I said, I'm getting this update from a context of some lady I've never heard of. And I'm not discrediting what she's saying, but there's a forum. If somebody has harassed you or abused you, there's a forum. This is just without context, that's hearsay. And that's like me saying Eddie abused me. And I'm posting a video of me and Eddie hanging out, just proving that we knew each other, met each other in person. Eddie could sue my pants off.
Yeah,
Eddie could bankrupt me. So you gotta be. Social media has really gotten a lot of people in trouble over this stuff like this.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Eddie, what do you think about that video and what's going on, this new update? I mean, like I said, I don't think there's enough to go off of to say one way, but it's just more adding to the situation.
I mean, I made my own video about it. I don't know what the hell was going on with that video or that sigil he had on the roof, on the wall and stuff like that. But in terms of drama with his ex-girlfriend, whoever she is, I don't know. I know they were intimate, but it's like she's calling or they, I guess, is calling Ezra an abuser and stuff like that. Like I said, I need more information.
Yeah, there's a little more in here, so I figured we'd read. User Mia Salon posted a video on TikTok a few hours ago. The caption read, "You took everything from me. Ezra Miller is not a good human, and I can absolutely say so without being terrified. #abuser. We have learned more info about the situation, so please follow this thread." Someone contacted the person who made this TikTok. I'm not gonna like say certain words, but you can read for yourself. Jesus, he called me a R, so sick. So did Ezra. I've heard Ezra use that word. He called me a R a few times and a schizophrenic. LOL. Yo, dead ass. That projecting is crazy. This just confirmed it. Holy shit. We were having sex one time, and he knows I use they them pronouns and still stroked my hair and said, "Good girl." Mind you, I am 19.
All right, time out.
Yeah.
If, regardless to who it is, Ezra Miller or Eddie or Santa Claus, if I'm a defense lawyer or if I know somebody who's a lawyer, I'm using all this to destroy this person, because this is nothing. This sounds like people who had a breakup.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, there's a little more. So it goes on and says, and my flight was canceled or some shit, and he literally cussed out the person who was trying to help me fix my flight. I was like, yo, it's literally okay. This mother effer is off his fucking rocker. I remember he flew from me from Hawaii to Oklahoma to work on a movie with him. Then it continues. Is there anything specific you mentioned where when he FaceTimes you or was that short and brief? Was he in panic? He always does like a long effing gauge and is asked to like strip on camera before. WTF. Otherwise, he'll bring up random shit that I have no idea what he's talking about. Definitely grooming. I feel so gross. Like, what the whole F? And then one day in like February or something, he called me saying he wanted me to go to England with him and work with him in Europe and live with him, etc. Wanted me to have his babies. He can get married. I have no idea why he would be. He hasn't really threatened me, but when we were physical, he would bite the shit out of me.
Okay, time out. I'm sorry. First of all, this shouldn't even be public. This is intimate stuff that happened between two people who were going out.
Yeah, I know. They're making it public though, with accusations.
He never really threatened me, but he's an abuser. See what I mean? I mean, I'm a litigious person. I don't know, because, especially if I was somebody in the public eye with all the stuff going out, this would be.
Yeah, and there's a picture that they shared.
Cyst all over the place.
Yeah, this is a picture they shared. I guess of bite marks or something, or bruises. I'm not sure.
Great. Newsflash. I know RJ is only 15, 16, so I'll cover your ears.
23.
Cover your ears.
22.
Cover your ears.
Yeah.
Every now and then when people have intercourse, it gets wild and crazy, and people bite. It just, I'm not saying that she wasn't attacked or something like that, but it does, everything she's saying is sounding like everything happened within the context of their weird ass relationship.
Yeah, there's accusations of grooming too, because apparently they were 19 and he was 29. So I don't know.
How old is he now?
I think he's like 29. So
but when was this supposed to have happened?
2019, so he was at least 27. I don't know.
Yeah, she's an adult.
So she was 17. So she was 17.
Yeah, and these are pictures. These are pictures. And there's this account called Ezra Miller versus Accountability, which is like obsessed with Ezra and trying to like find stuff against them. So I don't know. I
don't know, man. This is just
it's getting crazy.
The forum.
It's getting
you're calling
crazy.
Somebody an abuser right there. You got to bring everything if you're going to call somebody an abuser, because if they haul you into court and all you have is this, there's going to be a defamation suit. I mean, that's just all there is. Without take all the names out of it. If I say Eddie beat the hell out of me, or I open up a sentence saying Eddie just abuses me and just do it there for him. I mean, but oh, by the way, I never really felt threatened by Eddie, and you just need a little bit more to put somebody.
I mean, I don't want to dismiss this as a nothing burger just yet, because maybe
no, I'm not dismissing it, but it's like
no, I know you're not. I'm just saying, like,
if it's something,
it just seems very, very fishy to me. Like, I'm not taking this at face value, because this is just very odd and all over the place.
Just stuff either missing or stuff not there.
Well, little movie purpose, I agree with the guest that this is William. I agree with William. This isn't enough. Not to say she wasn't abused, but so far this looks like he was just being cringe. I mean, yeah, it's the thing. I don't think that there's any evidence that a crime took place.
People are cringe. A lot of people people do it different ways, and I'm not judging anybody. People do some weird shit when it comes to intercourse, and you do your thing, whatever's going on with your partner. It's a mutual thing. So, now if it's forcible or something like that, then now we're talking something. But I'm just from reading that, I don't get that. Now, in a court of law where there's evidence being produced like this, see, this is the problem I have with social media, is it's either one-sided to the point where there's a case being made against somebody before he actually gets his due process. And everybody, whether it's Ezra Miller or Mike Tyson, anybody, just because you don't like the person or just because they're famous doesn't mean they don't get due process. Serial killers who admit they did it get due process. They get Fourth Amendment rights. They get all that stuff. But when it comes to social media, like right there, there are people that are looking at that. If this went to a civil court, that are going to be sitting on a jury, but have now been given stuff like this out of context, without any type of discovery process. And now, if this did escalate, we've already put things out there that should have gone through a judicial process. If somebody's been attacked, somebody's been raped, somebody's been harassed like that, it needs to go through the judicial process so that person can defend themselves and there's a discovery process, and then what gets released to the public, what is relevant to the case. There's a whole process. But releasing something on TikTok, bits and pieces, that's not fair to anybody. I don't care who it is. Ezra Miller, Donald Trump, don't matter who it is. Everybody deserves due process. And if we start with that standard, stuff like this wouldn't happen, or it wouldn't be important, or it would get shut down immediately.
Yeah, no, I agree. Just to bring it back around, I mean, do you have any thoughts on the whole second or third arrest and the what's going on with the where their career is at? I mean, I know I'm sure you probably touched upon this. I just haven't heard your perspective on what Warner Brothers Discovery should do.
What Warner Brothers Discovery should do, especially with enough time in between projects, is anybody, like, say what we would do in the military. So if we spotted somebody that was having issues, we did what was ever within our parameters to help them. But we also laid out, now you're talking about employees, so you lay out consequences and build things into his consequences. I wouldn't fire him, but I would say, listen, we want you to get help. We're going to take care of that. We want you to get help. We're going to monitor the situation, and we want progress reports and everything else. If everything goes okay, then we're talking about let's rehabilitate things and bring in. We still have plenty of time before your major movie is released. Things change within 72 hours. So a year, I think, will be fine. But for his own well-being, and if Warner Brothers now is a people company like I think they are, he is an asset to them, and they need to protect their asset and make sure that their asset doesn't harm himself, or first of all, not harm himself. And then their projects and their all that is secondary. But their project goes nowhere if he harms himself or harms somebody else. So just like any other workplace, I'd be like, hey, we need to talk. This is where we need you to be. We'll support you in this. And, and it takes time, whether it's anger management, if he's going through issues, we don't know what he's going through. We as a company need to say, hey, we are here to help you, maintain these issues and get better.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, you don't think they're going to do you think they're going to recast the role of Flash? Do you feel like they're going to do any significant to the movie they've already filmed, or no?
No, because you know what? People are fickle. And the general public, like I said, the difference between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp is it's a divorce case that's been polarized by them, and they're much more higher tier actors and actors. You would have to make adjustments if it were like that. Ezra Miller is a star, but he's not on that level. And the general public, be honest with you, doesn't give a rat's ass about this right now. It's just not at that level. We care because we're.
So you feel like the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp thing is more cared about or known about by the general public at this point?
Yeah, no doubt. It's been sensationalized for a long time. You got Captain Jack Sparrow, one of the most regarded actors in the world. Amber Heard, not as much, but he is. Johnny Depp has been. I mean, in the last.
That's the role of Amber Heard for subsequent Aquaman films.
Say that again.
Do you feel like they could recast Mira in subsequent Aquaman films going forward, depending on this case?
Not really.
No.
It depends on who the director is. But like I said, it's maybe stuff that she's a star in, maybe she's a billing, but no, I don't think they're going to recast her in things that are she's a supporting role, and I just don't see it. I mean, it's just not that big a deal to people, even then a lot of people know about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, and a lot of people on the upper percentile really, they're really passionate about it, but the general public just sees it as a divorce case. People get divorced. Hollywood stars get divorced, I mean, it's just, fans, we got to realize us as fans don't make up a significant bulk of that. So studios know that. But when it comes to Ezra Miller, most people like I run into in here where I could, they talk about the Flash movie, or there's a Flash, I got a Flash stand up. Nobody mentions this. Nobody cares about this.
Well, in terms of social media activity, Donovan, I wasn't aware that Amber unfollowed the Aquaman Instagram account and Jason began following Johnny Depp's Instagram. I mean, I don't know if that says anything really.
That's what I mean by sensationalized, but you don't see this with Ezra Miller. I had customers that they know who he is, and they've seen him in Fantastic Beasts, but they didn't even know what his name was, as far as that goes. So nobody, Warner Brothers is not going to recast a $200 million movie and all that over there.
Well, now, I mean, I'm not saying to redo the Flash movie they've already filmed. I'm saying going forward after that release.
It depends. Like I said, if it were if we're talking about 3 months from now, maybe, because there would be some concerns. But a year from now, I got to see where he's at in a year. I got to see if he accepts my offer as a CEO to say, hey, dude, we're going to work with you, but we're going to work things into your contracts from here on out to say, hey, you know what, you're going to foot a percentage of production efforts and stuff like that. If we have to cut or this, or we're not going to, there got to be incentives in the contract so that not only are we helping this guy and giving him the space, but we're telling him, hey, this is tied to your career. Because every other studio is going to come in with the same thing, no matter who he signs with, whether it be Warner Brothers, Universal, they're going to have those incentive-based conversations just to protect themselves. So why not do it with the one he's home with right now? Warner Brothers is his home right now. It's let them take the first stab. And like I said, things change quick. We're talking literally a year, less than a year from now when we have to even start promoting this movie. And the Flash is not even in the news right now for anything relevant as far as promoting it goes. So we got time to fix stuff. So yeah. I doubt it.
Well, thank you, Frank E., who just tipped $5 over on the Stream Elements page. Again, if you want to tip the channel and get your message read, you absolutely can. Frank E. just tipped $5, no message. But if you have a comment, Frank E. will absolutely address that if you want to say something. But thank you. Yeah, I mean, Eddie, do you have any final thoughts on this Ezra situation before moving to the last topic?
Yeah, like I said, I'm just surprised. Pretty much almost every day we get something new from that whole situation, that whole debacle with him. I don't know. He hasn't taken it too far. Yeah, he definitely needs help. But in terms of the girl thing, I don't know what's going on here. We need more information because those. I mean, I'm not trying to say there's nothing there, but at the same time, it's like we need more stuff. And if it gets worse, I show abuse, and I'm like, damn, I don't know how to make a case for Ezra after that. But
now she publishes like a police report and pictures of bruises, like from the date that coincides, things like that. And there's some evidence there. Then, like I said, that shouldn't be on TikTok. That needs to be presented to a court of law. Now, barring that, but from what I've seen, that, like I said, that could, maybe there's a reason.
It's not enough to go off of. That's the thing.
Yeah, and it's not fair. I don't care who it is, whether I like them or not. I cannot stand when people put these things in this forum and something that could end up in a court booth. Everybody gets a fair shot at due process. I don't care who it is. Trump. People who don't love or don't like Trump, guess what? There was a process for Trump to get due process. We have those things built into our laws so that TikTok and YouTube and all that are not a factor in whether somebody is treated fairly or unfairly or not. And this medium, I love it. I'm on it, but it really can sway things to the point where right now, the whole Johnny Depp thing, that's been so corrupted by bullshit. It's like, but guess what? They're in a court of law where if there are accusations, that is where they belong. It's sensational relations that it is. And I don't mention it on my show because I can't, but they are in a court of law with a judge with parameters, and that's where these things belong. Yeah. If they belong anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. So, now we're moving on to the last topic of the stream, and then we can just chill and do whatever. There's a new Lightyear trailer that came out. Have you guys watched the new trailer for Lightyear?
Yeah, I've seen it.
We're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it again. So we're gonna watch that, and then we'll talk about it. I know William is super looking forward to this movie.
Listen, guys, I'm not an asshole or anything. I grew up on Friday the 13th, Halloween, Trauma. My cartoons, Akira, Macross, Blood. By the time I was of the age of where you guys were at when you watched Toy Story, I want to see it, man. I just cartoons and animation. Toy Story to me, this now on its own, this trailer looks like something kick-ass I might see outside of everything. It's a space adventure, something like that. And as soon as it shows up on streaming, because I'm not paying to see it, I'll watch it.
Yeah. But let's give this trailer a watch, and then we'll talk about it. And Eddie, I'll be curious to get your thoughts as well.
Buzz Lightyear mission log, stardate 3901. After a full year of being marooned, our first hyperspeed test flight is a go.
Who are you talking to?
No one.
You were narrating again.
I was not. Just doing the mission log.
You do know no one ever listens to those.
I know that. Narrating helps me focus.
Ready, Captain Lightyear?
Ready as I'll ever be, Commander Hawthorne. This is exciting. A new adventure.
I'm gonna grant you 4 minutes to be off planet, but then you come right back to us. To infinity
and beyond.
You are clear for hyperlaunch.
Beep boop, beep boop, beep boop. Buzz, that was utterly terrifying, and I regret having joined you. Buzz Lightyear to Star Command. Come in, Star Command. Why don't they answer? Hey! Shh!
The robots.
The what? What is happening right now? Alicia?
Oh no, that's my grandmother.
But, Socks, how long were we gone? Meow, 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 meow. 62 years, 7 months, and 5 days. What?
I hope you're ready for action, because all we needed was a pilot
For what?
to destroy the alien ship. I have a plan and I have a team. Jarvis can take any 3 things and make them explode.
I do this, and they shave a little time off my sentence.
Okay. And what about you?
Well, I thought this was going to be like a fun boot camp workout thing. But it is not. Did I get it?
Pretty close.
I need the... Did anyone say the harpoons?
Buzz Lightyear! The probability of survival with an inexperienced crew is 38.2%.
Seems a bit low.
Mission failure imminent. In 3. Grandma always said she believed in you. 2. 1.
There was a big swirly too. Oh, I think I need a bag.
No.
Please record your last words.
Do not vomit inside the vehicle. Do not vomit inside the vehicle.
If you are satisfied with this recording, speak or select 1.
To infinity.
Are you trying to get me to pull your finger?
Don't fall for it.
No, not like that. Sorry, it's a thing your grandma and I used to do.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think?
It has elements of a lot of different. So I saw some Stargate in there. The whole thing is Buck Rogers.
I mean, there's a time travel plot to it, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, that part of it kind of. I hate that when the guy comes back and everybody's dead. But that was Buck Rogers. That's the Buck Rogers element that I saw. As it stands on its own, like I said, if we promo it, I'll go see it. It is what it is. I mean, and I'm not hate. I just, listen. I need the 3Ds. All right. I need the 3Ds when it comes to my entertainment: death, destruction, and dismemberment. You're asking me to come down off of that high.
Well, there's some. I mean, animation wise, looks beautiful. It looks really beautiful. Yeah. I mean,
for what it is, it looks great. It's gonna make a ton of. It may make a ton of money. I'm not sure these days with Pixar, and I don't know how long it's gonna be in theaters.
Probably at least 45 days. That's the new window.
This is something that is great for Disney Plus right there. Is this Disney Plus? Is this one we're going?
Well, this is going into theaters. It's going to be their first.
No, but once it's done with stage.
Oh yeah, it's going. Yeah, it's going to Disney
Plus. Oh yeah, this would be something
days,
that kids are going to watch the hell out of on it. So yeah, looks great.
Yeah, I mean, I like the voice cast, like Chris Evans. You got Taika Waititi in there, and
that guy's in everything. Right?
Yeah. Eddie, what do you think of the trailer? Are you looking forward to Lightyear?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I know the young demographics and like it. That's why William does it. But going
wow. No, it has nothing to do. It's just that like I said, I never went through the phase when my cartoons were Wile E. Coyote strapping dynamite onto himself, try to catch a bird that he should be able to outrun anyway, and stuff blowing up. Tom and Jerry Tom getting sliced up in a meat slicer. That's but these Pixar and all
well, Lightyear was like shooting at things that were blowing up and everything. There was some destruction.
Yeah, and that's fine. But like I said, it's just not my market. It doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah.
It's just
to answer your question, Anthony. So the concept, Williams, that this is the movie that Andy saw. That was his version of Star Wars, the movie that inspired the toys.
Yeah, he's probably the guy that creates all. He's probably like a toy CEO at the end of all this. And Toy Story is like his telling of the story. Like I said, these movies mean a lot to people, and I know it's okay. And like I said, if any of the Toy Story movies I'm actually going to enjoy, it would be this one because it has science fiction elements to it. I mean, not up to the level that I need, but they're there. Like I said, I saw Stargate in there. I saw a gate, so that's kind of cool. So I think people are going to enjoy it. I like the trade. Listen, regardless of how I feel about Lightyear and all the kiddie stuff, these 2 trailers that they've released and the teaser have been excellent. That's how you do a trailer. That's how you market a movie.
Yeah, all the trailers. The marketing for this movie has been very strong. I would have to agree.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess. Well, one last quick topic actually, since William's here. Obi-Wan comes out in about a month.
Yay!
We got 2 total film covers. We got one with Obi-Wan's lightsaber, and we got this one. They announced that Natalie Holt, who did the score for Loki, is doing the score for this show. She's the first female composer for anything Star Wars live action. And
Loki's
John
score
Williams is going to be creating a theme for Obi-Wan because he said he never got to make one for the original film. So he wanted to come back and create Obi-Wan's theme for the show.
That's
so he'll
cool.
be composing Obi-Wan's theme. How are you feeling about the show so far, William? You looking forward to it? I mean, we're about a month away.
I'll watch it. But the problem, and it's going to be good quality stuff. It's going to be a good show. I've always said, and I said this and butted heads with Enos ad nauseum on this. I'm tired of being in this neighborhood of Star Wars where everything revolves around this particular time period or this particular family or this particular era. All this stuff that is going to make this show great, I would rather them expend it on things brand new and put us in a place that none of us Star Wars fans have ever been before.
Well, that'll be when the Acolyte comes out. Acolyte will start filming this year, I believe. So,
because spoiler alert, I know what ends up happening to Obi-Wan and Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker.
Well, you don't know how they got to that point, though. I mean, this is a story where.
Did I need all that, though?
I mean, you don't want to see Ewan McGregor come back?
No.
Hayden Christensen?
No. No? Yeah. I got my fill of them when I watched their movies.
But if there's more story to tell, though, then why not?
Okay, but Star Wars is a much bigger every time we put out something with Star Wars, the universe gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and we stay in the Skywalker backyard. No, I want to move to the big city and meet some new people, and I would love to see them go far enough into the future where these things aren't relevant, but we could still do Star Wars, or far enough into the past, 4,000 years, before the Battle of Yavin, so we can have stories that are not connected to this. This is their failsafe to me. They'll never venture out to the deep end of the pool because they know they got fanatic fans who are going to be like, oh, that's not the way Luke. Oh, and then, and I think that's why we get these same things all the time. And they're not low quality. The Mandalorian is great. Book of Boba Fett, I know some people didn't like it. It's kind of drug, but I thought it was good. And this is going to be really good. But that to me is like, damn, I'm disinterested in Star Wars in general right now until they come out with something I can sink my teeth in that's not having to do with the same damn names I've been dealing with my entire childhood. Given how long I've been on this planet, that's how long we've been talking about Luke, Leia, Chewie, and Han. It's like, come on, man. I'm ready to move on to a different thing. And the more they do things like this, the more they're digging their heels into this era. And I'm like, I'm not going to dog it. I'm not going to create hate streams about it. If it's good, I'll say it's good. But as far as my interest level into it, it's like, nah. I'm going through the motions. It's Star Wars. I have a Star Wars section. I would be a fool if there's something Star Wars coming out and I didn't know what was going on. So
yeah,
I'm obligated to watch.
Well, Eddie, how are you feeling about Obi-Wan? You like those covers? Are you looking forward to the show next month? A few weeks away.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the show. And the thing about us focusing on the same characters, don't worry, guys. We're gonna get that Rian Johnson trilogy. Just wait.
Why Anthony? Shut up, Anthony.
What did Anthony say? William, there you go. William Hand stars on surprise. William, you will not get what you want with Star Wars. You won't never.
I'm not hating on Star Wars. I'm just tired of this era.
I mean, they're gonna go to the past eventually. I mean, are you reading the High Republic stuff?
Yeah, but they need to go further back than that because the High Republic is only 200 some odd years. You need to go back to the Knights of the Old Republic.
But it's still a different era, though. Yeah,
but it's still in that state. So it's kind of like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones and the House of the Dragons going back 200 years, and that's fine. But they're only the old storyline only encompasses 300 years. You have thousands of years of history that you can tap in with Star Wars. And like I said, Knights of the Old Republic, things that don't necessarily, or go into the future. Go 80 years. Do like what Star Trek did when we went 80 years into the future and gave us Next Generation. It wasn't all about Kirk. You introduce new people. Star Wars grew their universe, and across we've gotten 4 generations of people that have come and gone, and they're all still connected to the Skywalker family.
Well, I think the problem with going to the future is that because of Rise of Skywalker being such a mess, how do you continue that story if you go in the future?
You don't. That's the thing. You don't continue that story.
But how do you have story? Well, if you have stories with Jedi, it has to go back to Rey Palpatine.
Yeah, but you could go just like I didn't know about the Purge of the Jedi until they came out with the movie 25 years later. I didn't know about the Holocaust. There's a lot of stuff that you can go into the future in, and if you want to explain that, that's fine. Explain that, but get out of the same neighborhood you've been in since 1977.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. I mean, I don't know what the answer is. I mean, I'm looking forward to Obi-Wan. You have to understand too, like my Star Wars that I grew up with was the prequel era. So like seeing Ewan and Hayden come back, that's really exciting to me. It's just one last ride, one last appearance. I'm sure the show's going to be of quality. I mean, you got Deborah Chow directing, you got Natalie Holt doing the score.
Well, and the people that they're getting acting in are quality. Ewan McGregor is a great actor. I'm not knocking him. And they're going to do great. But it's like, dude, you could expend this effort on giving me something that gives me a new dimension in Star Wars that is not attached to these things, but they are in that safe spot. They will never go into that deep into the pool because they're afraid of the revolt amongst their fans. But the problem is like, literally since I've been a kid, we're still talking about the same. Even like I said, that's the only franchise that can really do that. So have at it.
Yeah,
I like Trek better.
Well, I mean, there you have it. But yeah, that's pretty much all the topics I had. Thank you to Eddie and William for joining me for the first ever episode of RJ Live. We did it. We got the first episode done. Yay! Gonna be kind of sporadic in terms of when we do this. We'll just do whenever topics come up, and I feel like doing an episode of this, but no sense.
Hey, listen, no more of the Avatar stuff, man. I saw when you want to, you show. Well, what the hell, man? I want to see RJ. I want to feel the show. I want to understand when RJ is angry about something and RJ is thinking about something, and all I see is a vibrating Captain America's shield. I don't think that. Come on, man. We're at the true journalism level now.
Well, eventually I'll get the camera set up going. Eventually, we'll see.
How long have you been doing this?
Yeah, well, sometimes I'm just better. It's more comfortable just laying in bed while you do a stream or something. You want to see me laying in bed.
No, I want commitment. Even if you have to wear a half shirt that only shows. You want to be in your drawers and everything, but all we see is up here in your shirt. I want commitment. I want RJ to be like, you know what? I'm all in. Just laying. Not right now. You're just laying down, chips in front of you. And,
well, like I said, I will get. I'm reorganizing some setup stuff, so eventually one day maybe I'll be back on camera. But I was on camera last night. We were talking to Ray Porter.
That's what I mean, man. You got all spruced up. You probably had your makeup done and everything.
No, I was laying in bed still. I just sitting up.
Hey, how do I look, guys? In the chat, how do I look, guys? Is the light hitting me right? I'm like, yeah, okay, but that's it's this new direction I want to see. Because if you don't do it, Saggy's gonna do it.
Do what?
Get you on motion, and then you'll be talking to her words.
That's why I don't go on camera, so we prevent situations like that.
That's unpreventable, dude. Unpreventable. She only needs 2 seconds, and come on.
Yeah.
I
gotta get better lighting too. I gotta get better lighting because all these late night streams are gonna be sitting in the dark, and I gotta get better lighting and all that too. So,
all right.
My studio is very small. It's just a little corner in the bedroom. So,
all right, man. Well, I'm going to be looking for the growth. I'll be sending some super chats to help you out. I'll be like, hey, this is for the makeup. This is for the shirt and tie.
Right.
Yeah. I'll be bribing you not to have Eddie on your streams.
Get out of here.
Wow. But yeah,
$10 super chat.
Right.
Time out, Anthony Belcher. Here's another $10.
Hey, if you're paying me, listen.
I mean,
I'll take the money. No questions asked.
I don't know, William. That currency you have was before America was discovered, so I don't know if you can use it nowadays.
Hey, listen, man. I see where you're going with this. And I'm sorry, Eddie. I'm sorry you weren't there to live like we lived back then. And I know you're trying and everything else.
I get it. You fought in the revolution and everything, so I respect you for that. But you
want to be retro. you want to be retro, but I was there. I'm like, I understand the jealousy and everything else.
So what
You
you're
grow
saying is that
fro out.
Eddie's a poser, you're the real deal.
Yeah, Eddie, you grow that fro out to the point where it gets its own zip code, but
That's it, bro. Thank you for fighting British rule, but those times are
you weren't
over.
there, man. You weren't there when these video games. Poor RJ, you guys were retro. Hey, I'm gonna get retro Sonic. I'm gonna get retro. I did it, man. I did it. Right? You're living the dream.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you to Eddie and Willie for popping on again. First episode of Marvel Mania. That'll be tomorrow. I don't know when I had that scheduled for. Sometime tomorrow. But thank y'all for watching the very first episode of RJ Live. We're out of here. I don't have an outro, so we got to get that done. But yeah, thank y'all for watching. Peace the heck out.